Hey, good morning. My name is Tomaine Grissom. First and foremost, I would like to say, hope everyone's had a great night. Today is Sunday, the 5th, 2025. So my subject I want to talk about today is, budgeting as an adult in 2025 and moving forward. A wise person once told me, all it is to budgeting is putting away more money than you spend. You know what I mean? So he said, for instance, if I want to budget and save a proper amount of money, save, keep 30% in my checking and move 70% of my earnings to my savings and put a lock on it, don't touch it, et cetera, and do that for 4 to 5 paychecks and see how much I have. I did it for 2 paychecks already. And let me tell you, it's a decent amount. All that money together is more than what my 1 paycheck would be for me. It's more than that. And I'm just imagining if I do that 3 more times, how much it's gonna be. You know what I mean? He said just the stuff like that. You can have a regular job, you know what I'm saying, and have a decent place to stay and etc. All you have to do is sacrifice, and that's one thing that I want to talk about today for us as young adults is sacrifice. People nowadays don't want to go without, and I understand. Because I went without for a while, and it's not a good feeling to go without, to feel like you don't have the same access to certain things other people don't have, or other people do have, rather, excuse me. But it's okay, because great things come to those that work hard. There was a saying back in the day, great things come to those that wait. But I had to think about that. I don't think that's necessarily true, because God doesn't like people waiting around idly by, not doing anything to try to better their own situation, looking for a handout, looking for Him to save them. He's never, in my opinion, he's never been that type of God to me. You know what I mean? He's the type of God that if you have faith, you believe, and you work hard towards your goals and be kind and respectful to others, good things can happen to you. I'm not going to say will. I'm not going to guarantee it. Good things can and will happen to you. Good things happen to bad people all the time. So what I'm saying is, good things happen to those that sometimes you got to make it happen. You got to make the things happen by putting in the work. That's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah. But budgeting and saving is something I've never been privy to. I've never been really good at budgeting and saving growing up. That's because every time I was given money, I was taught to just throw it away, just spend it. Go, you're going to buy this, you're going to buy that, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. So my education with money was just, okay, money's indispensable, which is, it is, but it's not, because you can always make it back. But sometimes it's harder to make back what you lost. You know what I mean? So with that being said, it's not really indispensable in a way where you could just frivolously spend it as you please and, with no consequence. No. Like, say if I were to, because I just paid my rent, right? Just the other day. Say if I was to take my rent money, the money I used to pay my rent, and just go to the casino and just blow through it, you know what I mean? And say, oh, well, okay, I blew through my rent money, but I'll have more rent money in the future. Yeah, that would be the case, because I have a job and I would be able to work and make more money. But my point being, would that help me with my rent situation? No, I would still be behind in rent, and it wouldn't look good. And, it would just build extra amount of charges. It's unnecessary. My point being, if you can do something, like as far as paying your rent, paying your bills on one fell swoop, but you know that your funds are going to be low, do it. That's why I made this video about budgeting and saving. So, if you save 70% of your check before rent comes, most of your checks, you won't have that rent problem or that problem trying to pay your car note. And I know this because I've been that guy for the longest that never listened to this advice I'm giving now. I've never listened to this advice. It just finally hit me once I turned 30. It's like when you turn 30, your brain slows down and you're able to think without, speedballing through things. I felt like I was speedballing through life, you know what I mean? Because I was diagnosed with ADHD, and it felt like I didn't have any control of myself. It felt like I was just doing things spontaneously without being able to control myself, to be honest with you. But now it feels like I have more of a sense of control, and I can control my words and what I say and all this stuff. I could before, but I self-control is a discipline you have to practice as well. I've never really practiced that. You know what I mean? I just did because that was my environment. Just do and don't think and move on instincts. That's all fine and dandy, but that's not going to get you through life, moving on instincts. You have to think and be deliberate about what you do and a lot of things you do. You have to read. You have to educate your mind. You have to get your neurons firing on all cylinders. You know what I mean? People don't read like that. You know what I mean? Real books. Because reading ebooks is all cool or whatever, but the phone still transmit emissions to your eyes. You know what I mean? That damage your eyes. If you're always reading on your phone, you know what I mean? It ain't gonna better your eyes. It's not, But that's why I bought a couple of real books from the thrift store. Reading that. Yeah. One of them is an old World War II story. Don't really know the name of the book. I have to look at it and, whatever. But yeah, I'm reading that. It's pretty interesting. I'm in chapter 1, page 10. So I read 10 pages so far. Pretty, it's getting my mind fired up because there's a lot of words that I wasn't really privy to. Some older English words in there, you know what I mean? So that's interesting. And one thing I want to talk about is the errors of which, happened and, things of said error. You know what I mean? I mean, errors being now dating back to the 60s. This is what that's the preference. I want to preface it by saying that, right? So the zeitgeist of the 60s and the 50s, as you guys know, the zeitgeist was racism, bigotry, segregation, degradation, just, tyranny pretty much. And to be honest, the zeitgeist of this generation is pretty much trickery, hitting codes, covert everything. So it's all pretty much the same, but it's not as direct. It's different, and it's confusion. The age of confusion, really, because what am I? We're in that age. And the age of AI. AI just was invented or just was established not too long ago, and look at it already. It's already pretty freaking advanced. So what I'm saying is, I'm just wondering what the atmosphere of the next era is going to be like, and God willing, if I'm alive to see it, and to experience it, how would I accept it? You know what I mean? How would I like it? But back to my original scheduled programming, budgeting and saving. So yeah, budgeting and saving. And it's okay to have a team around you. Like I have an older person I'm talking to now, and another, person I'm talking to that, gives me advice. I was a lone wolf for a while, so I was going through life just basically winging it, me, myself, and I. And I was like making mistakes and not getting different input from other people. It's okay to do things on your own. Like personal things you're supposed to do on your own, yes, do it on your own. But when it comes to trying to build a network and build your business or build your brand or things of that nature, you need a team. It's always been a thing. It's always been important to have like-minded people that's smarter than you, that can help educate you, on things that you're not privy to, that you don't understand. And that's what I I have around me. And I had to humble myself, and not be so big-headed and so conceited, cocky, and think I know everything about everything, which I don't. Just because I read it or study. Just because you read or study something don't mean you know the intricate details of that. That don't mean you can demonstrate how that operates or works. And I had to be humbled to understand that, so it's fine because we all get humbled every now and then in life. Life is the greatest teacher and the greatest, humbler, if that's a word, humbler. But you get what I'm saying. Life humbles you. It does. And it keeps you level-headed. And it makes you realize that we're all the same, that no one is above anyone. It's just, how things are set up, And are you going to complain about your situation, or are you going to do something to better your situation is the question. Because we have a lot of people that complain, but we don't have a lot of people that'll show initiative to try to at least better their situation, try their best. Sometimes you won't succeed in what you do, but as long as you try your best to get out of said situation or do the best you can as a person, that's all that matters. Nowadays, I'm more looking at the landscape of things, the political landscape, things of that nature. I was one of those people that was blinded. They threw things in my face to keep me blinded from what's going on, like sports, content, stuff like that, YouTube content, which I still watch the important things, the things that not propaganda that's going to, have me looking this way while they're doing something behind my back. You know what I mean? That sort of thing, I want someone that's going to give me the raw version of their truth, what's going on, no fake news. You know what I mean? That's why the news channels are really losing to these social media outlets like YouTube or TikTok or things of that nature, Facebook, because those outlets are going to give you truth, but it's going to be a lot of propaganda and fake news, but you can decipher what is what. Or, some people can't. Some people can't. But, for me, I can. So what I'm saying is I like to listen to more organic sources of media, and I want to be one of the media content creators that reports what I see and what's going on in the world and give it to you raw and authentic and don't sugarcoat anything, to play a role or, to sell a product or things like that. I don't care if I get no sponsors all my life. I don't care if I don't make $1 million all my life. It's not about that. What it's about is making sure I can take care of myself, my family, and my children when I have children. I don't have any children. So I'm going to preface by saying that I don't have any kids, but I want to make sure I'm in a position so when I do start to have children, I could take care of them and I'm not a struggling parent or struggling, I'm struggling to raise them. That's why I haven't had children, is because I don't want to just have kids for the sake of having kids. That's a lot of things that my generation and the younger generation is getting wrong. They haven't felt loved by their parents or by their family or anybody around them, so they have children because in their mind, and it's true that your child's always going to love you. So at least I have somebody to love me. So some of these people are having, these young kids, young adults are having children for love. Literally to have some other being, love them unconditionally. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm not saying it's not. But when it gets out of control, like children out of wedlock at a certain percentage, and unwed mothers and single mothers and stuff like that, it gets to the point like, okay, we gotta try to tighten this up, because that's not a way to build a successful, productive society in any demographic, in any ethnic background. It's not. You don't see that stuff prominent all around the world. I'm not saying that it's wrong to have a kid out of wedlock. It depends on how you look at it. But to have a kid out of wedlock and they don't have any support, now that ain't right. That ain't right, to not have any support. So it's a fine line, because the man is supposed to support his family if he lays down with a woman to have a kid. He's supposed to. It's an innate feeling. It's an innate innate responsibility, right? It should be. You know, but a lot of these situationships and, you know, one night stands lead to kids and stuff. You don't even know the person, this, then the third, and there's a lot of diseases flying out here, you know what I mean? And people having raw sex and not caring about their personal health. It's just a lot of mental illness. It's a lot of debauchery. But hopefully, like I said, with faith and belief, this year we can claim what is ours. 2025 is a year of claiming what is yours. 2024 was a year of exposing the truth and, you know what I'm saying, revealing what's going on. But 2025 is a year of claiming what's yours. This is our year to claim what's ours. And it starts by budgeting, becoming smarter, you know what I'm saying, having our ducks in a row, being more responsible. We're not perfect. We're all, you know, I'm not perfect. I know I'm gonna probably mess up my money a little bit in the future, but to do that less and less often, to stop, you know, just crashing out with my money. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was a crash out dummy when it came to this money, for real. I used to get it, crash out, already gone. You know what I mean? And that shit, that shit ain't funny, man. It's not funny, but it is funny, and I have to work on it. And I'm making this video for people like me that have trouble, you know, in certain areas in life, and we're on this journey together. I'm not your teacher. We're taking this journey together. You know what I mean? I'm not teaching you. You guys are teaching me, and I'm learning from you guys too. And I'm listening to new ideas and, you know, things I should talk about and, you know, subjects I should touch on, things of that nature. But until next time, this is Tomaine Grissom signing off. Love you guys. Take care. God bless.